me, everything I do in music goes back to an experience I had when I was 4 years old. A long time ago, I lived in Northern Virginia, and my mother took my sister and I into what we call the district to go to nursery school. And we'd park this giant car we had and walk through the streets of D.C. to the YWCA. And on the way, one day we encountered an old blind blues singer standing there with sunglasses and playing a guitar in a blue suit with a white cane over the crook of his arm. And, as a 4-year-old child, there's all the sounds of the city, the honking and hustle and bustle and cars and buses and people. And there was also, a guy playing the saw at the other end of the block. And, but this old man was singing quietly, like he was singing to himself, like, and I couldn't make out the words he was singing, but I just got this feeling from him, and that is something that just haunts me to this day. That it was as if my ears had a telescope, and I could just block out everything else, and I heard his whole. I could just feel something there, and so as I grew up in that area, I played in soul bands and Motown style things, and also British Invasion, blues-based British Invasion music. And at some point I went to the Smithsonian Folklife Festival, and I heard an African man playing a 21-string kora, instrument called the kora. And I had the same experience where I was just riveted to what I was hearing. And so I got interested in African music then. It was a long time ago.
become yesterday. Unlike tomorrow, become yesterday. My shadow at midnight. Oh, dreams at midday. Gonna tomorrow become yesterday.
Eventually, I started traveling to West Africa and studying ensemble drumming. I studied there in Ghana, and then so it was always a case of save up money, travel, learn music, become broke, try to get back to stability, try to save up some more money to go someplace. And I went to Haiti and studied voodoo drumming there for a little while. And but really, to get to the bottom of, I think, the question is that when I heard the music of Ali Farka Touré on a cassette, playing an electric guitar with a calabash, which is a gourd instrument played with little sticks, and that also, again, the same thing just swept me away, and I eventually made my way to his village up there in at the southern edge of the Sahara, and that launched into a whole period of years of going over there, and run out of money, come back, run out of money, come back, and started recording over there, and releasing CDs of music that I recorded with guys I met over there, and but at some point I started traveling around the U.S. Playing, and with an African guy. The same thing of playing like blues, songs I had written that were like old blues songs, but had African accompaniment, and specifically of an instrument called the kamalingoni, a 6 or an 8 string harp, rhythm harp, that looks a little bit like that gourd banjo I was playing tonight. And I got invited to play down at the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, and just had such a great response down there, and started just going back and back to Mississippi, and I got turned on to these old school drummers from North Mississippi Hill Country, which is, I felt like I was in Africa there. Just the way their whole approach to music was, it's like it's part of life instead of some entertainment that beams in on you sometimes. It's just, they had the fife and drum music, and the juke joint music, and the kind of the front porch style of music. So I just started, like I had done in Africa, recording things as I went along, and finally this album, Head for the Hills, came out of that. So I hope that addresses the thing, is that it's all part of a continuum that goes back to that man I saw when I was 4. It's my first musical memory, actually.
hard out here. All the pimps and pills, all the dealers ain't, all the pretty shills. First one free and the last one killed. Yeah, the first one free, boy, and the last one killed. Time to head for the hill. Head, 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 head for the hills. Time to head, head. One more. Head, head for the hills. What people do just to pay the bills. They're drinking time till the bottle spills. Whole lot of trouble hanging out a windowsill. This crazy place giving me the chill. Time to head for the hill. Head, 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 head for the hills. Time to head, 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 head for the hills. Well, it's hard out here. All the pimps and pills, all the dealers ain't, all the pretty shills. First one free, boy, and the last one killed. Yeah, the first one free, child, and the last one killed. Time to head for the hill. Head, 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 head for the hills. Time to head, 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 head for the hills. Come on now, head, 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 head for the hills now. You were good, you were good.
Well, I view songwriting as kind of like catching the flu or something. You know, it's like it's just something that comes over you. You know, and once you get hooked on it, then it's just happening all the time, more or less. And you're always writing things, and at some point, you just want to make something out of it and do something with it. But there's, you know, like I assume that all songwriters are like that. That it's just something that you're doing all the time, and in a million different settings and vibes, you know, and you know, I guess sometimes, you know, you think, well, that's a little sad about all those songs that you know, you never finished, or you're never, you realize it's, you know, there's so many of them after a while. Who knows what's going to happen with them? Kind of like it's like something from Star Trek. You know, those things that go floating out into the universe, and they're just out there like orphans, just sailing out into the cosmos. Which is why I like radio play, because they say that the radio transmissions theoretically, theoretically a butterfly flaps its wings and has some impact theoretically on the distant edge of the cosmos. In the same way, a radio emission is a vibration. It's a wave going out there into, and I'm just imagining, like maybe relatively soon from now, let's say a billion years from now, or a few 100 million years from now, that some, what would you call them? Because then we won't be here, so they won't be aliens to anything in reference. So creatures or someone will be like listening to terrestrial radio, and so I like that. That's like probably the most gratifying thing I can think of. One of the most gratifying things is to think that it's like something that came from somewhere and it came over you, and it went out there, and whoever heard it, heard it. But beyond that, it's just still going out there.
The last thing you were holding was slipping from your control. And the orphan child beside you sit. Is that all that's left of your soul? All the way to where nobody answers, to the sound of it's time to go. On that train to the heavenly round called. All that's left of your soul. down the aisles and the highways, and everyone's raring to go. And the winter's freeze is fading in. Is that all that's left of your soul? Is that all that's left of your soul? Now I'm plowing the fields of forgiveness, with miles of road to hoe. You gave them all they wanted, and is that all that's left of your soul? Is that all that's left of your soul?
I could go back to the point where our forefathers was like in the fields working, and it wasn't really no rhythm. It was just oh. It's like a flowing matter, and I'm glad you said that because I was raised up on gospel and religious music, and I love it, and it was my healing. It was my spirit. It was a medicine, and I love religious music. It doesn't have to be gospel. It could be Catholic music. It could be anything that's positive, because I love positive music. And so I was reared. My brothers and I was reared with gospel and sacred music because we studied in college. We went to college for it, and I studied to be a classical timpanist. And I was going to do timpanist, but I wanted to, have a big afro. I wanted to find girls, and play rock and roll and jazz. And my teacher kept on saying, no, you could wear a tuxedo and a bow tie. And if I had listened to him, I would have been rich by now. I feel good what I'm in my life, what I've been through as far as music. And getting to the blues, there's all types of blues. There's the funky blues, there's the sacred blues, there's the down home blues, there's the back porch blues, there's all kind of blues. And I have to say, I could play all kind of blues, shuffle or whatever. And I got a chance to play and record with the late, great John Lee Hooker. I was with him for about 7 months before he passed away, but I was able to do his recording on his album and some other good musicians. But I was glad I was able to do that, and that put a little more merit on my plate. They say, oh, who you play with? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So
Ain't gonna buy, ain't gonna buy, ain't gonna buy your Judas smile, that Judas smile no more. That Judas smile, that Judas smile no more. Can't put the bullet back into the gun. You can't undo it when it's already done. Oh, it's hard to stop, child. Once you be gone. You gotta have, and you gotta live.
I'm sure that anybody who messes with something that's, directly or tangentially connected to blues music, everybody has their own personal pantheon. But to me, it all gets back to, the country blues players, and it's more about the songwriting, really. So the slide playing is just something that, I love certain slide players, but I never sat down and thought about it. It's just something that I just started doing, and it goes with the open tuning of a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And so, I'm absolutely in love with Blind Willie Johnson, who people call him a blues player, but he's really more of a gospel musician. But his whole approach, his whole way he orchestrated his music with the slide and his voice, and the woman who's sitting like 6 feet back from him. I would say he may be my favorite slide player, Blind Willie Johnson, because it's part of this. It's so part of the song, but I would say that the biggest direct influence on me in all this is just all the hours I spent listening to Skip James and Bukka White and Charlie Patton, and of course Robert Johnson, and I love the big three: Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker, and so on. But for me, the country blues is where I it's just got. There was where a lot of the songs came from too, and a lot of that sort of one chord, trancy, hypnotic thing that is very. There's so many direct similarities between that music and music that I heard in Africa. In fact, you could play those types of grooves or feels or style arrangements, where you play a line and you sing a line, then you answer it with the slide and all this kind of stuff. And African people will just start playing along with it, and then you'll say, "Oh, that was cool," and they say, "Oh no, that's our song, Anya Waso." And I'm going, "Well, wait a minute. I thought that was more along the lines of, Hellhound on My Trail." And they said, "Well, what?" But so blues music undoubtedly comes from Mississippi. It's from the African American history, and that's putting it as euphemistically as I can. But that's what it comes from, and but before that, the roots of it are straight out of West Africa. The instrumentation, a lot of the singing styles of getting down in your throat, making buzzing things on the instruments, the arrangements, a lot of the cadences, the groove. That first song we did tonight, coon 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 coon. You hear that every day over there with the people pounding the grain for that night. It's going on in every house in northern Mali. Coon coon. There was two women going coon 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 on with these giant mortars and pestles pounding the barley, the grain for the evening, and millet, I should say. And so there's just music permeates life in West Africa. It's part of life, like everything. It's like eating, drinking. It's not just a thing for entertainment. And the same, I felt the same way to an extent in North Mississippi, that the music was not just about we're putting on the latest hit music and listening to a playlist of things. It was more like going to a juke joint and hearing some people, and people are drinking the stuff called White Lightning, and playing the same riffs and the same grooves, over and over again for like an hour, and people are making up the lyrics as they go along. That's just straight out of West Africa. That's just like life over there. And sitting out on the porch playing, and just a whole relaxed, casual attitude towards it. As far as songwriting goes, it's a hard thing to talk about. When a song appears, and there's a lot of them going by, and you might write a song, but it almost feels like you didn't really write it. Just there it is, and then when it's on an album and then you're listening to it, and then maybe if it happens, you're playing it for people and you feel that connection there. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, but it's also it's also just kind of crazy. Your whole life becomes a palette for this thing that's going on inside you, and you wonder what will it ever amount to. And so that chance to play for people is it's just it's part of the whole putting the vibrations out there that are continuing on to distant galaxies.
child. Mm-mm. While you sing.
I mean, people talk about blues music and how well you can. There's a lot of people that say that blues music is so down, you know, but that's not necessarily true. There's Skip James singing "I'm So Glad." I mean, there's a lot of examples all the way around like that. But the basic idea of, you know, someone who's from an oppressed subculture, you know, going, you know, blues music almost at its core is going to give people something, and you know, as far as songwriting goes, and playing and traveling around, and you know, that's different. It's like we're in another whole historical phase, and hopefully, maybe someday somebody would hear it and go, "Oh, I'd like to go listen to Skip James or Ali Farka Touré, or R.L. Burnside, or Howlin' Wolf or something," and see, you know, what the whole big, you know, pantheon of influences is, you know. But as far as, you know, hearing something that I'm a part of, I just hope that people have an experience of themselves that's you know, good for them in some way, good like they feel something in themselves, you know.